call to.
Yeah, good.
Got it. Okay.
Thanks.
Starting over again. Good evening, everyone. Hope all has went well with everybody since our last meeting. It is now 6:50 p.m. and I will call to order the October 5th meeting of the Carson Environmental Commission. Next, we'll ask for a roll call. Ms. Correa?
Okay.
Please.
So Commissioner William Coons,
Here.
Commissioner Freeman Watkins. I know he's here, but I understand his camera isn't working, so I'm not sure if his audio is working. So say he's here. Commissioner Angela Isaiah Payne.
Here.
Commissioner Hurry Taylor.
Here.
Commissioner Roy Lev.
Mr. Love?
I know he's here.
Here.
Oh, he's here. He's acknowledging.
And alternate Celia Valapondo.
Here.
And then we have an excused absence from Commissioner Gillis Ward, Lane Hobson, and Brianna Fontano.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you.
Okay. Next item, item number 3, the Pledge of Allegiance. If you will follow me, place your hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance
Allegiance
to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic
for which
which
it
it
stands,
stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible, with
with
liberty
and
and
justice for all.
justice for all.
Thank you.
Okay.
Item number 4, introductions and presentations. There are none. Any public oral communications?
No, I didn't
anyone-
receive anything.
Oh, okay.
I didn't receive nothing. No phone calls, no emails.
No phone
And-
calls, no
And
email.
nobody on Zoom with their hand raised.
And nobody.
Okay, thank you. Next item, item number 6, consent calendar. Would you please review your minutes from oops. The minutes from September 7th? And, are these the only ones in here, Jessica? Yes.
Yes.
All right. We'll take a couple of minutes to please review the minutes. If you haven't already done so. Okay, has everybody completed the minute? Any corrections, deletions, additions? From anyone?
If you do have any, make sure that you mention that you're pulling the item number 1 on the consent calendar. You know, if for example, we had 4 items on the consent calendar, it would normally be 1 motion, 1 vote, and no discussion on all those 4 items on the consent calendar, unless somebody actively pulls something off of the consent calendar. So if somebody needs to pull something, please request first that we pull it.
Thank you. Any discussion on the minutes? Okay, motion to approve the minutes from September 7th.
So moved.
I have just, it doesn't have me listed here. I don't know if I'm supposed to be listed and who is present.
From the September, minutes from September the 7th.
Yeah, because it on the was it commission members request to add items, I'm listed there, but because I remember telling Rita I was going to forward some corrections for the prior minutes. But
I
I'm
mean, you're
really,
listed under the roll call.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you are listed in the roll call.
Right, she's listed as present.
okay, all right.
Okay,
I was looking at that other section. All right.
Just remember, if we need to get into a discussion on something on the consent calendar, you need to pull it first.
okay.
So do we have a motion in a second?
I motioned Isaiah Payne.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Second for
Been
approval.
moved and second to approve the minutes. All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Jessica, can you take a roll call vote?
Okay.
Commissioner Freeman Watkins. I'm gonna say yes.
He's muted.
Yeah.
He is on mute. Yeah.
He also has his video off. If he turns it
Yeah.
on and says okay or something, that's acceptable.
His camera isn't working. That's
Okay,
fine. I'm gonna say,
That's gonna be difficult.
okay. Chair Taylor.
aye.
Yes. Commissioner William Coons,
Aye.
Commissioner Roy Love.
He's indicating yes.
Yes. Okay.
Is that yes?
Yes. Alternate Sela Valampando.
Yes.
And Commissioner Watkins, can you put in the chat box your vote? Consent calendar? Yes. There we go. Got it.
There it
Yes.
is. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, next item, item 7, continued unfinished business. Discuss and identify potential truck idling sign locations.
Okay.
Uh,
So Rita's not here.
Okay,
So let me share my screen so I can pull it up. Okay. Can you guys see my screen?
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
yes.
Okay. So Rita has sent an email to get your feedback on the locations for these signs. So we want direction from the commission to identify potential truck idling signs. I believe she sent the map. I don't know if you are if you're able to mark up the map and you can drop it off at City Hall or scan and send it. But here's the map that she sent. Our city boundaries. So on the bottom right here is where truck parking is allowed. And the truck routes. So the yellow is where the truck routes are in the city. The red markings, 1 hour parking for trucks, and the blue markings are 72 hours for the trucks. So I know, Commissioner Coons, I got your email that you sent. That there was a website that indicated where truck parking was at.
Yes.
That was forwarded to. There wasn't a link or anything attached to it, so I don't know if you want to try to forward it again to me so we can review it. So I can forward it to Rita. But I looked at it briefly, but there wasn't a link or anything. So I can view it.
Did you check the attachments to
There
that?
wasn't any attachments.
Not attachments, but the data you'll hide if you don't open it, you have to open it. And it's additional, because I forwarded you AQMD's Ryan Stromar. I forwarded you his maps to you. The AQMD maps, his emails, because the map
Oh,
was
there it is.
hard to do by itself, because it's in a
Okay.
website. But I'll do it again a different way. Anyway, the two, go ahead with your report, and then I'll talk about it.
Okay. So Rita wanted the commission to identify the truck idling locations that the commission would think would go where they would like. So I can mark it on this map, I believe. Let me see. So if you guys can let me know where you would want these signs to be located. So then we can determine, we can meet with our operations division and meet with the supervisor that makes the signage and get an estimate of the size of the signs and the locations. And then we'll come back the next commission meeting to present what our supervisor has said with the size of the signs and where it can be posted. So we just want to get your feedback and see where you would want the sign so we can present it to our supervisor for our science crew, and so they can go out and look at the locations.
I got a question.
Yes.
The blue for 72 hours, is that overnight parking or is that like operational parking when they're making deliveries?
It's
pickups?
it's overnight parking.
Okay, for 72 hours
Yes.
consecutive. Okay.
Yes. As long as it's not street sweeping, they have to move when they're street sweeping.
But they can idle for
Yes.
72 hours. They can.
They can park there. I don't know about idling. I don't know if they can have their truck on for 72 hours, but for parking, yes, yeah. It's a lot of gas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the 5-minute rule still applies, Mr. Taylor. The idea of a 72-hour is long distance truckers go cross country. So they get on Friday night to LA, they want to stay there 3 days, and then Monday morning they want to leave. So that's really the purpose behind the 72 hours, to allow them a place to park a truck for their weekend, and then they take off Monday to go to New York again. So, but the 5-minute rule still applies, whether they're sitting there, eating, sleeping, whatever. They can't run the engine more than 5 minutes. So that's the way I interpret the no idling law. And the special is something else, which we can get into the special idling law. But if I can tell you what I'm doing, so I'm going to resend the two things from AQMD. One of them is a 10-pager. If you want, I can try to copy over onto this map the locations where AQMD is monitoring at the current time. The other one is idling signs that are already in existence, and these are for surrounding cities. For example, the Wilmington has been posted no idling signs, and they border us on the south on Lomita Boulevard. The south of Lomita is Wilmington. and north of Lamita, almost all the way across, except for that little cutout. The north of Lamita is Carson. So what I would like to do is the place that's on the map of existing things is put some on the north side of the street, because trucks come down from the freeway on Wilmington there where the arrow is. They come down on Wilmington and they turn left on Lamita. And that's where the traffic jam and idling occurs. And so this is the place I want. I want us on Wilmington and on the north side of Lamita, on east of Wilmington, to post signs.
So right here in this area?
Right, that's it, right there.
Okay.
They're going south, and you see, again, the south is the Wilmington. And so that's the place I want to add to, and that's on, it's on there as Lamita, but it doesn't say Carson Lamita versus Wilmington Lamita on the AQMD thing. That was my suggestion to AQMD, and then they're monitoring that place. So the second place I would like to see is, and I'm talking to, not the second place, but there's a person in enforcement, Pavan Rami is his name, who's promised me his map. Enforcement is the one that does mass enforcement. They go out, and when there's a mass thing, they go out there and they check who's idling and who's illegal and so forth. And they give them warnings usually the first time, and et cetera, et cetera. So he's also going to provide me with a map, which I will forward to Jessica, or I will mark on our map. So those, and then the third map is a 10-pager, which has been identified by the CDC, I mean, not the CDC, by the Community Steering Committee, CSC. It's the AB 617 Community Steering Committee, which I'm a member of. We're also going to do that. And the fourth one, so I'm still in the process of doing all this because they're taking their time, because there's a lot of work involved sometimes. The fourth one is I would like to see schools which may or may not have either the blue or the red, because like the school close to my house, in the summertime or in the hot weather like now, sometimes people in cars pull up to pick up their child, and while they're waiting, they sit in the car with their engine idling because they want to run the air conditioning. And and not drain the battery. So in this past 5 minutes again is not legal. So I would like to see the Del Amo school, which I'll give you a list to Jessica.
Okay.
The Del Amo school on I'd like to see it posted on Water and 213th, and the buses come on 213th, stop right in front of the school, and sometimes they're also idling too long. You know, they're waiting for kids or et cetera, and they're ahead of schedule or something, but
Mr.
they
Coons,
should not be idling more than 5 minutes.
Mr. Coons, if I
Yes,
could,
go ahead. I'm done.
vehicles other than trucks, do they fall under the purview of the idling violations?
Yes,
Well, they do. Even
yes,
if it's a passenger vehicle?
yes,
I think you're gonna have a problem at the schools because they have designated areas now. You pull up, you pick up your child, you pull up, and they get in the car and you take off. I just don't know the practicality of stopping 50, 60 parents coming up to pick up their kids, trying to get them to idle. And they're not parking it. A lot of times they can't park. They have to double park sometime, unfortunately, which is a violation, but I think that's going to be awful difficult to enforce.
And if I may just break in real quick with, I don't know, are we talking about public rights of way, public property, city property, or are we actually talking about school property? Because if we're talking about school property, we have no jurisdiction over them.
No,
Or
I
their
think what we're
property.
talking about is when they pull up in front of the school, they call them valet situation. It's just expedites picking up your kids and moving the traffic. They call valet section. So they usually cone it off. You pull up, your child, teacher's out there, your child gets in the car and you take off. I just don't know the practicality of trying to get everybody to turn the motors off. Because
Well, again,
sometimes-
5 minutes is enough for them to pull into the pickup zone. Sometimes they're off the street a little, but usually it's the right-hand lane, or it's a parking lane that they're using like they do at Stephen White. They pull off to the right. In 5 minutes, that is enough time to pick up the kids if they're there already. But they're not really even supposed to stay in that zone if the kids are not there already. And sometimes they do wait in the zone. And if they're waiting more than 5 minutes, yes, they are in violation. That's my last thing that I'm doing. I'm interfacing with Sabrina Sewell, who has done this with LA. Remember, she came and spoke to us,
Yes,
Rovina
ma'am. Yes,
Sewell,
sir.
and she's the
So
head of
Mr. Co-
California Safe Schools, and they are indeed the ones. California Safe Schools is the name of her
Mr.
organization,
Mr.
and
Combs,
they are
we have some
posting
other,
these signs. Go ahead,
yeah, we have some other, Mr. Love, I think you were trying to say something.
go ahead. So
Some input.
I'm done.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know if you can, I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, we
Yes,
can hear
we
you
can.
now.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that was the concern I had was, I was wondering, would we be able to do this regarding vehicles that were outside the jurisdiction of the city of Carson? Part of that caused me, because I noticed, and I'm not sure where on Central Avenue near Rat Bar, of course, the trucks, and there's a lot of traffic there. But what I noticed though, it's not so much the trucks going down, but it looks like the trucks stop for the eating places. And I noticed they sit there quite a bit. So I don't know whether, I can see whether a sign there looked like it would be appropriate if they would follow it. And the other part too, I wanted to know about the schools. So I'm glad you brought that part up because you do have parents who spend a lot of time, and so I'm not sure we can do anything, but at least I just want to know what the boundaries are here. We cannot have signs, I presume, in areas that are outside the city of Carson, right?
Oh, agreeable, yes. I don't think how we can justifiably enforce it.
Right, yeah. Yeah, well, that's it would take a little bit more time, but just places I see going up and down Central Avenue. You were talking about south of the 91 freeway. It's a lot, there are different little places. But certainly knowing that, I can look at that and see if there's anything to schools. But that's about it. And I don't know what is the wording on the sign. Does it say trucks only, no idling, or what? Is it just kind of generic saying no idling? Do we know?
Yes,
I believe it's just truck idling signs from what the presentation that they gave us, the signage examples.
Yeah.
That's not true. The sign
Okay.
says no idling. It does not say cars, trucks, or anything like that. Then it says below that, well, there's two versions. It'll give you the code. I think the state law of it cites the number of the code of the state law. And then it also can have a phone number on it or a website that you can call to report and so forth. I think they're CARB or AQMD. So there are a couple different versions, but it does not say truck no idling. It says no idling. And if you look the code up, again, this was covered by Sabrina, I believe. Yeah,
Does
the
anybody have
code is
the state code?
5 minutes. The code is 5 minutes,
Oh.
except for those that have a special permit that can be longer, but they cannot be idling in a school zone, a hospital, or a special needs zone, like hospitals and
Okay, question,
rehab centers and things like that.
Mr. Combs,
Other
question.
special needs.
Is this
Yes.
a California vehicle code violation?
Yes,
Okay, do you have the section, sir?
not with me, but I can look it up. It's on, I can find it.
I just want to read it, just read it for my own edification. That's all.
I sent out a picture of the sign. There's two versions of the sign, and they were made two versions because the size of the sign is critical. Some people, some codes of some city can't take the bigger sign and they want the smaller sign, et cetera, et cetera. But when I go to my gallery, I can read you the code. You want to know the number right now?
Well, no, we can wait. I mean, you can send it to me, text it, email. I
Okay,
just
I'll
wanna
look
read
it up.
Thank you very much.
Go ahead,
Anyone else?
and I'll give you the code.
Thank you. Any more board members have any input?
And if, and once you
Commissioner?
circulate the code, and once you circulate the code, please do not reply to all or start deliberations amongst yourself via email or other means, or go through the serial meeting rules that we did in our Brown Act presentation.
Thank you very much.
I have
Okay, so-
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
So here I have a picture. I have a picture of it and I can read it to you. If that's what you want. It says at the top, no idling. It's a big round circle in red with a cross across it. And it shows a truck and a car behind it. That means no cars and trucks, whatever. And it's the front of a vehicle. And then it shows a bus.
No,
It looks
Mr.
like a
Combs,
bus
Mr.
and a
Combs,
truck.
Mr. Combs, I was
Then the
specific.
code,
I just want the code section, sir, that's all I need.
then it says 13 CCR 2480 and 2485. Penalties apply. I assume that's the California code, CCR, whatever that is. I think it's the California code.
California Code of
Penalties apply.
Regulations.
Beg your pardon?
California
California.
Code of Regulations.
Code regulations.
Yeah.
Code regulation. Penalties
Okay.
apply on the
All right.
next line. Then it says in small letters, call 1-800-CUT-SMOG to report violations. Now that's the first version of the sign. Oh, the second version is exactly the same. I must have taken the same sign twice. That's the sign that's on Lomita Boulevard. I took pictures of it on the Wilmington side. Again, CCR, I don't know what, is it's a 13 or a I3? Looks like a 13 CCR, California Code Regulation 2480 and 2485.
Got
And
it.
this, the symbol with the red circle and the cross across it, it shows a vehicle at the top, looks like the front of a bus. And then below that, it shows a vehicle that looks like a truck. So that doesn't mean it only applies those two, but those are the two most common violators. And why are they the biggest? Because they're, well, the bus
Okay, well, let's do it, Mr.
getting
Combs.
away from diesel, but
Mr.
the
Combs,
trucks
and all
are
due-
still diesel.
And all
Yes.
let's maybe have, Ms. Lehman, or someone else can do the legal interpretation of it.
Yes,
Yeah.
we'll have to look into it. So there's,
Okay,
at
thank
this
you.
point in time, we're just trying to get direction and then receive and file the report, receive and file the map. That's all we're looking for at this point in time. Can I have a general nod of heads that the commission agrees with the, Jessica, let me start with the area of the map for some more idling signs that you added at the bottom where you marked idling. You put
Yeah.
idling. Okay, so is everybody pretty much in agreement with that?
I'm in agreement with the area, but I did have feedback on one of the sites. I don't know. Can I discuss that now, or do you want to just deal
Yeah, I'm
with the
just
whole
trying-
area first,
I'm
or?
just trying to
Sure.
keep the record straight and go through issue by issue. So Commissioner Coons suggested that an area be added for more signs where you see Jessica has added that mark. Is that okay? Let me put it this way, any no's? Does anybody disagree with that?
We don't have a recommendation. I thought we were just gonna make some recommendations and send them in to Rita or Jessica for.
Yeah, no, I'm not asking for a vote. I just want to make
No,
sure.
I'm not asking for a vote either. I just thought we had agreed that we were just gonna, and Jessica had asked, that we just send in our recommendations.
Yep.
Mark
that you
up the map,
provide-
scan it.
Yep.
or-
And I see
However-
Commissioner Angela Isaiah Payne has her hand up. Has been
Okay,
having
go
her hand
ahead.
up.
Go ahead, Ms. Payne.
Trying to piggyback on the fact that I just had a concern about the school zone. That's it. Because it's very difficult for parents to pick up kids and they don't. Mr. Coons, you're right. There is a time limit, but we all know the reality of that. They exceed that time limit. So I just don't want us to make any recommendations that may cause a problem for the parents and the kids. That's it.
Well, I'm going to suggest we have to explore the school pickup zone issue a bit more. I mean, not just coordinating with the district, but districts, but also just making sure we don't have any jurisdictional overlap issues. So we'll have to explore that one.
I
We'll
agree.
have to look into the vehicle code sections, 2480 and 2485. I was actually just trying to see if we had some sort of consensus on providing just informal direction at this point in time on that one area that was first proposed by Commissioner Coons.
Well, it's actually not a vehicle code violation. It's airborne toxic control measure. It's under that section, that 13 CCR 2480.
Sorry, you're right. You're right. I
I'm looking at
misspoke.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right. I misspoke. I said vehicle code. I meant regulation code.
All right. Okay. I just still have questions about it. But anyway, anyone else want to comment on this before we?
I wanted to comment on if Jessica, if you go up on the map to the intersection Carson Street and Wilmington Avenue, I see that there's a red area on the west side there on Carson Street, and then the red area is on the opposite side. I would propose that maybe that be extended so that
Oops.
the area would extend going south on Wilmington Avenue as well. There's a
Right.
little right, go up there. Well, you just passed it right there.
Uh-huh.
So on the Wilmington Avenue going south, the trucks do park along that area and they're left idling. And in addition, there are there's a market there. There's a Starbucks, a couple of restaurants. The trucks actually park and leave on the other side. And they're going toward Carson. So right on that corner. The trucks actually will go into the parking lot and they will leave the trucks idling, and they're actually sometimes even in the driveways across the sidewalks. I know because I pass through there when I walk my dogs. And the drivers are not present in the trucks. And they are idling. So I think that might be an issue there. You've got people who are trying to eat outside the Starbucks on that corner, and as I mentioned, the other restaurants trying to get in and out. So maybe just extending that from Carson and going down south on Wilmington Avenue,
Okay. So like
right in
the
that area,
Starbucks is right here,
right on the corner. Yeah.
right in the corner, and then going south right here down Wilmington, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And they don't seem to congregate going in the other direction. It just seems like they park and idle when they're heading south toward the freeway.
Okay.
Okay, anyone else? So can we agree that any other recommendation be forwarded to Jessica for information purposes and evaluation?
So anyway, back to the schools though, I will be getting a input from Sabrina, Robina Sewell. And then I'm gonna get a list of schools that she thinks and where they should be. The school I'm concerned with is the one near my house. It's on Water and 213th. It's Del Amo Elementary, and I think that one should have signs. There's another location that's a truck, sometimes piles up trucks south of Home Depot, south of Home Depot's south of Sepulveda. It's a bunch of supplies and so forth. I've seen them line up on Main Street about a half a mile south, a little less than that, maybe 3 blocks south of Sepulveda on Main Street. And I can't locate that on the map because the map isn't detailed enough. But if I think that one should have signs on the street of Main. And then possibly other schools like Stephen White and a few others, but Stephen White has construction on it right now. So it's a little more difficult to put signs where there's construction because the construction sometimes causes them to idle because they don't want to start and stop their car all the time. So anyway, do you see the place I'm talking about? It's about 2 blocks south of Main Street.
Over
About
here?
almost halfway to Lomita. So those are the places I like at, and I will be giving inputs. I will be getting from AQMD and Sabrina from California Safe Schools. But again, the signs don't necessarily impact picking up kids because they can't idle. How does that impact picking up a kid? If they're pulling into a zone where there's pickup, there's already supposed to be no idling there, except when you're picking up. There's usually time limits of 5 or 10 minutes in the pickup zone just for pickup. So I don't understand the concern there.
Let me speak to it because I pick up kids from schools. You pull up, you have to wait
Yeah.
until you get to the valet section. You stop. Someone is generally there to open the door and expedite the children and their baggage to get in the car, and you take off.
Right.
But if you
So
try
that
to,
should be
if you're
less
gonna
than
be,
5 minutes.
oh no, sir, it's not. It has to do with how early you get there, how crowded it is, how many students are at the school. Okay, I do it 2 or 3 times a week. I'm telling you. And I'm looking at this section. This seems like it applies. This one that it seems like it applies to school buses at school, or transit or paratransit vehicles. It does, or commercial vehicles. It doesn't. I don't see. Maybe I missed it.
Okay,
It doesn't say
so
it's
if the-
commercial motor vehicle.
if I can say one more thing. So what you're talking about is what they call queuing. It does not apply when you're queuing. In other words, when you're waiting in line and every minute or so you move up a little bit. The trucks do the same thing. That's not part of idling. Idling is you're sitting in one place for more than 5 minutes. You're supposed to shut your engine off.
Well,
Queuing is you move a little, and the trucks
Yes,
do
sir.
it.
My only disagreement with you is I don't think this applies to passenger vehicles. From reading this, it does not apply to passenger vehicles.
Well, it
That's
does.
just my interpretation. I could be wrong. I'm not a lawyer.
We need to look into the issue.
It doesn't apply, it
We need
does
to
not
look-
apply to vehicles.
We need to look into that issue and follow up. I mean,
Okay, let's
again,
do that.
we're just looking for direction at this point in time. So you've provided us with direction to look into the school issues. It's not just the code of regulations issues that are cited, but also the jurisdictional issues in terms of if we're dealing with school property, we can't do anything with them. So there's some complicated issues with respect to schools.
So I would like to make a recommendation if we're gonna stretch this out over a meeting or two, that we get someone from CARB or somebody from the AQMD to come in and explain the regulations and explain what it covers, et cetera, et cetera. CARB is even better. It's California Air Resources Board. They're the ones that wrote the regulation that was signed by the legislature.
Well, before we do that, I think we need an interpretation of if even we can do this before bringing someone else in. I just think we need a legal evaluation.
Okay,
That's just my personal opinion.
so other schools and other cities, LA's done it, Wilmington, there's more than 100 of these signs throughout LA. Whatever, maybe Lana can suggest a legal opinion to come in
Okay.
or get one for us.
Yeah, or maybe we'll re-agendize this after that happens and we can have some further discussion on
Sure.
it. Okay. Anyone, any other input? Yes, ma'am.
This is coming back anyway. I mean, we're not making a decision at this point in time. We're just trying to
Right.
get your input.
Okay.
So this is coming back anyway. And so what I have is a couple of areas have been added to the map for some enhanced signage. We have to look into this school pickup zone issue. And the CCNR, and I'm sorry, I keep saying vehicle code, the CCNR sections that are cited at the current version of the sign. That's what I have so far. Do we have a general consensus in terms of providing that direction and no further direction?
Yes.
Yes, I agree.
Well, I think Chairman Taylor wanted an interpretation of the school zone or the vehicle, not the vehicle code, but the car. Is it covered by the cars as well as trucks and buses?
That's fine.
Is
I
that
think
part of
that
what
would
you're?
have been, I think that would have been included in her evaluation. I mean,
Yeah.
pursuant to this section.
In that evaluation? Yeah, that
Absolutely.
sounds good.
Okay.
That
So
sounds
Jessica,
good.
do you feel like you have the direction that you need?
Yes, so I'm gonna bring this back, talk to Rita and discuss with her, and we'll meet with our supervisor of signs. And so he can send staff out to look at where we can put signage, and then the next commission meeting in November, we'll present what our supervisor has said.
Thank
And
you.
I would recommend that now with all of that now clear, thank you. We take a motion in a second to simply receive and file the report, subject to the direction provided by the commission.
Thank you. Okay. Is there a motion to receive and file the discussion on the truck item?
So moved. Angela Isaiah Payne.
Second,
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, voice vote, please.
aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Uh-oh, I see Jessica, you said no.
No, I'm counting.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Any opposition?
none.
Anybody abstain? Thank you. All right. Item number 8, new business. There is none. Item 9, commission members request to add items to future agenda. The list is attached to one which we had developed several months ago. So who wants to be first to request something for the agenda?
I'll go first.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead, Ms. Bill.
I'm wondering, there's a whole lot of activity going on at 213th Street and Chico Street in the channel. Big tents, a lot of activity. I don't know if that's Public Works or who. I was wondering if we could get an update or a report on what's going on. And then some discussion on what I brought up earlier about the pocket park that's being proposed And if that isn't maybe something that this commission needs to discuss.
So the
Oh.
update on Dominguez Channel is on there.
Excuse me?
The update for Dominguez Channel is
That's
on.
all, okay. So that would include the latest activity then, basically, I guess.
Okay.
Right. We might want, you may want to add and we'll vote on this, but you may want to add a sub bullet under there with respect to the pocket park.
Okay. And then,
Okay, if I can tell.
I don't
Celia
think
a
she's
little-
finished, Mr. Coons.
Oh, go ahead. I was gonna.
okay, and then this is more of a question, and I don't know how others feel about it, given the pain at the pump that everyone is experiencing, and I hear that the governor has taken some steps to try to ease that. Is there anything the city can do? Or, I keep thinking, the refineries, all of that stuff is here in Carson. The Carson residents have to deal with that on a daily basis in terms of what we breathe. It just seems like we should be getting something of a break with gas prices when the rest of the nation is only paying like $3 or something per gallon, and we're setting records here in California. Is that something that can be discussed, that's within reach, or that we can have some input into as the city? Or
I
Legally-
seriously doubt it. but-
Yeah, I was
this is-
just gonna say, just purely legally, I think Chair Taylor is correct that first of all, I seriously doubt it.
Seriously doubt it.
But beyond that, I really don't think it falls within the subject matter jurisdiction of this commission.
Right.
okay.
Unless we can get the governor to drop the 54-cent gas tax in California, but that's not gonna happen either.
Now, it was very thoughtful, though. I appreciate it. I could use that break.
We all kidding. All right, next, who wants to be next? Ms. Payne?
I don't have any agenda items, but thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Coons?
Oh, yes, to reiterate what Celia Villapando said, the pocket park, I agree, we should get informed about that one. And that's mostly the county. At the 213th and Chico, they've got like tents and stuff going across the pipes. There are pipes going across the channel at 213th and Chico. They have tents and coverings over that, like they're working on it. Maybe they're rebuilding it, whatever. We need to find out what's happening there. So I do agree with that one. And I would like to have a presentation by one of the local communities, like Jesse Marquez from a Coalition for a Safe Environment, or Elisa Rivera from Communities for a Better Environment. I would like to have a input from them at one of our next meetings, if not the next one. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? I guess myself, I just trying to be careful about putting too much on the agenda in terms of presentations, and we're here 3 or 4 hours, but so I'm just still looking for some kind of update on the carousel track. I'm patient. So whenever we can get it on, it'd be appreciated.
Sounds good.
Anyone else? Thank you very much. Oh, Mr. Watkins, are you still here, sir?
Maybe he can put something in the chat room,
Yeah,
what he would like to see.
Mr. Love?
Well, certainly, I'm kind of with you on an update on the carousel track. And also with Bill, I think having a presentation from primarily, I would say, Community for a Better Environment in view of what the recent thing I saw where the what was it, Reagan was the guy, who was dealing with, environmental justice, and they've added, the agency, that it also has, and civil rights, I think, whatever the title. Some of you may know what the new name is, but it gives them, a broader areas. I think some of you may have seen the thing on the news where they were trying to, help the people in Louisiana and that, as they call it, the Cancer Alley. And, so it looks like they can attack the environmental issues when we talk about environmental justice, but at the same time, they've made the department deal with civil rights in the same instance. I don't know if any of you are familiar with that. I would think that people like CBE and Coalition for a Safe Environment would probably be trying to come up with some strategies how they can feel they can be more effective in their areas by taking that two-pronged approach. So it'd be good to have someone at least from those two areas. But I'm for carousel track. That's been around a long time, so we can come up to date on that. And so that's where I am at this point.
Thank you very much, sir. So where did Jessica?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll see who we can reach out to.
Yes.
Mr. Marquez's group or Communities for a Better Environment.
Yes.
Carousel track and
Carousel track.
Update on the Dominguez channel, which would include the Pocket Park situation and the work on 213th and Chico.
Yes.
Mr.
know
Chair,
if we-
Mr. Chair, can I add something along with it? We talked a little bit last time about the Parter sterilization services, the
Oh,
North,
yeah.
maybe to find out what's going on with that.
Okay. Jessica,
Agreed.
did you?
Agreed.
Carter.
Okay.
Yeah. Take notes.
So
Okay,
just to be clear, the two new things I'm hearing, because Carousel Tracks, Dominguez Channel, there's grants, Coalition for Safe Environment, Communities for Better Environment, and there's also a Physicians for Social Responsibility LA. Updates are already on the future agenda list. The new ones that I'm hearing are the Pocket Park, which is a subcategory of the Dominguez Channel. And
the Parter situation, we discussed it, I think, at the last meeting.
okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, Parter.
So can everybody nodding agreement? We all agree with adding those to the bullet list?
Yes.
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 Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
you.
And we'll get on what we can get on.
Yeah.
Whoever responds.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank
Okay, next item will be commission members' oral communications. If there are any, any additional communications from the commissioners? Okay,
No.
Hearing none. Staff oral communications, item number 11.
I do have an announcement. Since I have a couple commissioners, the city clerk's office gave me certificate of appointments for 3 of our commissioners. So I'll be sending an email when you can come pick them up for me. I will be going on vacation, so I will not be back till next week, later next week. So I'll be reaching out to the commissioners so you guys can come pick up your certificates for me.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Lola, do you have anything else?
I actually do. First of all, a parliamentary procedure question came up regarding the terms for or protocols for continuing the meeting if a quorum does not occur. I said it continues to the next regular meeting. Typically, that is the case, and that's what all the cities I've worked with almost always do, there's some more wobbles that can be in there. I will email Jessica and Rita with some further direction on that in case we come close to having that situation again in the future. Secondly, I would like to make an introduction to you of one of my colleagues, Isaac Young, who's on. Isaac, you can unmute yourself. I am running into, we have some new clients, and I'm running into some agenda deadline conflicts with respect to this meeting. So Isaac will be taking over the coverage of this meeting on our office's behalf. Isaac, do you want to say anything about yourself?
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for allowing me to be here. I've just listened to you talking about some very impactful issues for this environmental commission, and I do think it's very important. I am an associate attorney in the Los Angeles office of our law firm, and like Lana said, I will be taking over this environmental commission role. So you will be seeing me fairly regularly. And of course, if anything comes up, I'll just reach out for clarification with Lana, but I look forward to working with you, and yeah, you'll be seeing me for the foreseeable future.
Thank you,
Oh.
sir.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, looking forward to working with you. Lana, thank you so much for all the wonderful work. We're gonna miss you. We're gonna miss you, but
I
thank you so
appreciate
much.
that.
And thank you for your patience
Yeah, so
and
yes,
all
we
your legal expertise. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Of
Lana.
course, you're welcome.
we will miss you, Lana. So just
Yeah.
for all your hard work. But there was one thing maybe before we let you go. I asked about the protocol or the policy as far as commissioners having their cameras on during meetings. Can you check into that or?
Oh, well, I have a list put together for Isaac, so.
Okay,
Okay, so welcome
thank
aboard,
you
Isaac.
again.
Thank you.
Good luck, Lana.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate you. The next meeting will be November the 2nd, same time, same station. Motion to adjourn.
So
So
move.
moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Have a great rest of the week and a
Okay.
great rest of October. Take care.
Stay safe, everybody.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Maybe
Bye-bye.
Maybe.
Good night, everyone.
$7:47. Thank you.
Thank you.